It's been coming along good, thanks.
Fantastic. Great. Well, what's the biggest challenge you're facing and how could I best support you?
I think the biggest challenge I'm facing is getting to the test and I'll prep for a practice test and then I'll take it and something throws me off, whether it's a question or a section. I'll do below what I'm averaging and I'll lose all my confidence. It's really about the confidence for me because once I can get through like the first 10 of the arguments, and let's say I don't miss one, my confidence is high. And this is practicing, this isn't in the practice test, but like once I miss a couple, my confidence gets off and I'm like, do I really know how to do this or not? Or it comes on when I'm picking between two and I'm not certain. Because I mean, you're never certain, but you have a good inclination of which one's right and which one's wrong.
I hear you.
And it's really about the confidence for me and keeping that up throughout the test.
Sure. What does your review process look like?
My review process after the test, I've started keeping a journal with what I've gotten wrong and going back and I'll look through. I used to only look through like one explanation site, and now I'll do a couple and try to fully understand it a little better and really dig into like why I got the question wrong.
Fantastic. Multiple sources can definitely be helpful, especially if you're only going off of one. Sometimes you'll see later upon looking at a second that they conflict. They cover different things, and maybe one system clicks more with you than another one does. I'm also curious about what you're creating in your review. Are you writing anything down? You said you had a journal.
Yeah, I'll write down, let's just say if it was a conditional in the argument, I'll have what I wrote down and then compare it to what the explanation says and see where it's off. And sometimes it's not off in the actual, math of it, the writing it out with the arrows, but just like connecting two different parts of it and connecting them wrongly will lead me to the wrong answer.
Yeah, well, that's certainly something you want to correct, and explanations can be useful for that. You also talked about confidence a number of times, though. So I'm curious if you might benefit from noting your confidence level as you're working through the question.
That would be good. Yeah, I can try to do that.
Yeah, and can you see how might that be useful for you?
That would be going from reading the stem first and understanding the stimulus, maybe on a level of like 1 to 5, and how I understand the stimulus compared to maybe narrowing down the answers. And then after I get a couple answers, narrow down like how confident am I that I chose the right answer.
And then upon scoring yourself,
yes,
you can see if you're confident where you should be, or if you're lacking confidence, perhaps where you don't need to lack confidence. What if your confidence level is low, but you're getting things right consistently? Then you could just be doubting yourself when you don't need to be.
That's true.
Or if you're overconfident in some cases, then you may need to review the fundamentals in that area to really bring your understanding level up to where your confidence is.
Yes, that's true. And that's big in arguments, but I definitely have different problems all three sections, I would say. I'm scoring around like 157 right now, and I'd love to be in the 160s before June, and I think that's possible. I think where I'm really lacking, where it would be the easiest to pick up the most of the slack would be the games. I'm getting anywhere from 16 to 18 right, and I really think I can power through to that fourth game and try to really get those right, because I'm missing I'm about 3 games right now on all tests, and I'm missing about 2 of those, I would say. So I think that's pretty good accuracy, but can I speed up and keep the same accuracy? I don't know.
Well, again, it could come back to confidence. If you can move at a faster pace during those first 3 games.
Yes, and that's it's different from doing practice and doing deductions than jumping into the game and being confident that your deduction is right. Like I'll make the easy deductions, but can I make the one that really puts the game into motion? Whether it's a spaces where everything can go, or a layout like 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, something like that. I have a hard time making those deductions like under the pressure of the test.
That's definitely understandable, and that takes a lot of practice and time to make it happen a bit more smoothly. And of course, you can look at the explanation videos afterwards. We have plenty of the full-length class recordings in the course, of course, where you can go deeper to see step by step, slowly, how they're being set up. And you can also ask questions in class to see how exactly a certain deduction was made.
Yes.
So I look at that, because that's fundamental, that setup, that foundation can pave the way for the entire rest of the game to happen more quickly.
Yes, that's true. And relying on those deductions is the other big thing. But I think the games is where I'm strongest right now. And then reading comp, I'm really working on fine-tuning my process and how I go throughout the passage, because I watched one of your reading comp videos and you say you don't really underline or highlight anything. What's kind of your process to go through the passage and keep up with like a harder like philosophy passage?
Sure. Yeah. Well, one thing I might do, and you see this in a lot of my deep dive reading comp videos, the full-length class recordings, I'm aiming to dissect and translate the passage into the simplest possible language. And those philosophy ones can be really tough to get a handle on. And so if they give me one example, even I'll latch onto that one example for dear life to help me anchor myself in the real world with what they're talking about, to make it less abstract, more concrete. LSAC is masterful at making things as vague and general as possible, but that's boring and it's hard to get a handle on it. And so any example I can get, or an example I can make up for myself that's still true to the content, is part of my process for essentially dumbing it down. And then you're right, I don't highlight, I don't underline. I just look for the main point, the author's opinion, the primary purpose, aim to extract that and pre-phrase it. And that's really all I look to do. Of course, there can be many examples and details, and I wouldn't get too bogged down in them in the moment. I would just look to see where they are in the passage so I can go back and find them when I need them.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's because right now I know if I can really understand the passage and get to the questions in a timely manner, I can get back to the passage and answer those questions more efficiently.
That's the name of the game.
It's the inference questions right now that are really stumping me.
Got it. Yeah. So I would save the inference ones for last. If they require a bit more reading between the lines, I would do those general ones, like main idea, primary purpose first, then the detail-oriented ones where they're giving you a specific place to go. And then the inferential ones, they're going to be harder. Save them for last and make that a big part of your review process if they're giving you trouble.
Okay. All right.
Fantastic. Any other questions for today?
No, I think I'm good.
Fantastic, Sammy. Well, it was great. It was great connecting with you. There's a reading comp class tonight, by the way, so I definitely recommend it.
Yes, there is. I'm signed up.
Perfect. All right, great. Well, if anything else comes up, just let me know. I'm happy to help.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.